Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Slant.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
All right, Paulie, let's go.
That's better. Where'd I go?
Good day, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Paulie. This is the Latino Slant, and this is your leading source to Latino entertainment, as the ticker says down below, on music, movies, and pop culture. It is, and music. We just did a music review and reaction to the latest Nina Diaz video. That's up. That is fantastic. Culture, we're always doing reviews and discussions with writers and filmmakers and all that good stuff. So that's what's here on the Latino Slant. So much that we do. I hope you guys are well. We have a really cool show today for you guys. Now, here's what I would love for you guys to do before I bring in my special guest. I want to do two things. I want to say hello to you guys in the chat, so make sure you're saying hello to me. Then at that same time, I want you guys to share this link. Hit the like, because right now in these precious starting minutes of any live stream, to get this stream out, to get people to see it, is crucial. And that's your way that you can help right away to make that happen. Okay, so right now we have a couple of friends in the chat, and I want to say hello to you guys. And we're going to start with the newest comment. Ed Brewer is here. Good morning. You know, it's a good time to get a sip of coffee. This is really good coffee, by the way. I would say my mom still makes the best cup of coffee. Good morning, Ed. And Ken Jack Ben is here. Salutations from Vallejo, California Pumpkins. Victor B. Hello, Victor B. Isn't the Aztec civilization infamous for blood sacrifice and or slavery? Victor, what civilization isn't? And that is a great question. And we're going to get to that, into those practices in a certain section of our talk. Just in other words, red shirt, member of the channel. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. And earlier, Ken Jack Ben had said some good comments here. Namor is a character obviously inspired by the Greek Roman pantheon, and I guess they're considered white, so they have to get rid of it. I mean, that's the Hollywood current modus operandi. I know of the character Namor. He's not really a hero. He's a bit of an anti-hero and somewhat of a tyrant. Great comments, guys. Great way to get this going. I wanted to jump on this news for several reasons, right? We are the Latino Slant. They are going with an Aztec Mayan slant. Like that? Hey, it's early here, but the jokes are going to start flowing. They're going with this Aztec Mayan slant, they being MCU and the production of Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. So that's interesting for us as a channel, where a much anticipated superhero movie is going to implement like this huge part of a culture that has never been done before in film with the MCU in particular. It's been done several times indie, and it's been done with Mel Gibson's Apocalypto, which I recommend. Now, the other reason why that I wanted to jump on this news and bring in one of our buddies on the comic book end is the actor Tenoch HUERTA. He's from Mexico. He has been in several films that I've recommended over the last couple of years here on this channel. We've done music, we've done movie reviews, Son of Monarchs, The Forever Purge, and even in movies that I don't like he is always solid. And I really believe the reason why he got because he's had this gig for a while. Namor. I really believe what got him the role is his portrayal of drug cartel lord in Narcos Mexico. And I have a clip of that because what Ken Jack Ben mentioned is that this guy's got to be Namor is an alpha and he's menacing. You know, we all know the eyebrows. I want to show you and we'll do it later. I want to show you a scene of Tenoch's acting, just his presence. I truly believe that scene. It's a very, it's a very well-loved episode in Narcos Mexico because of his performance. I want to show that to you. So that's why we're jumping on this. That's why we're here early. That's why we're getting this thing going on for you guys. And I want to hear from you. Here's what we're going to bring in our special guest. We're going to talk about the origins of Namor, ATTUMA, Black Panther a little bit. Then we're going to jump to an article and these images. And at this time, Marvel has not confirmed any of these images. These images are not Marvel images. We'll say that again when we bring them up. So I imagine that there is going to be something dropped when Thor comes out in the theaters, and that's in 5 days. I think that's why everything is being talked about right now. Then I want to talk about Mesoamerican history and how it could work, and then and then I want to read comments, and finally we're going to talk about just the horrible bad will that Marvel and Disney has created with its comic book fans, with these fans like you guys and like my guests that have loved and beloved these characters for decades. Because without these fans, you guys, these characters would not exist. The popularity would not exist. So that's where we're coming from. I want a robust conversation, and I appreciate any questions that you guys may have. I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. Super chats are always welcome, and we'll take it from there. Let's say hello to two more people, then we're gonna bring in our guest, Ken Jack Ben with the MCU. Yes, but one of my favorite movies is Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. That movie is excellent. It's an excellent Mayan action adventure film. There's a lot of inaccuracies, but the essence is right on with the fatalistic time right before the Spanish conquistadores came. Rogue Disney, my dude, how are you, man? How you feeling? Are you gallivanting again with your best buddy on your shoulder today, or are you gonna chill and hang out with us? And right on time, fantastic member of the channel, fantastic friend. In fact, one of the first friends I made when I started this 2 years ago is my dude, my brother, and our special guest, Clobberin Times.
Hey, buddy. Hey there, Slantinos. What's up, Smyrnin? And why are you all awake this early? It's a bit different for me. I don't sleep. I'm the thumb pile of orange rocks. But what are you people doing? Especially on the West Coast, dude. It's early.
We got to get your rocks together. So, we'll work on it.
Don't make sure. At least you didn't say off.
Yeah, no. The thing I realize is whenever I wake up at any point of time, I always check in to see, who's streaming live on you,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always an audience. I love it. It's
Yes.
like, hey,
No matter what time,
no matter what time. And
within
I
reason.
think, you know, like it's Courtney and Kai. They do the late night stuff.
Yeah.
Pete with what's Pete's channel? The Creepy Little Book or something like that.
Oh yeah. I was on for 5 hours last night, Saturday Night Star Trek. I didn't think we were going to make it to that 5-hour mark, but it was.
I heard. And then talk about a guy who's a late. He does late stuff too, as well as Cardinal Sin.
Cardinal, what's up? What's up, Gil? I'll be on with him Tuesday night.
And he's here, and he dropped a super chat for $9.99. Now, look, you know what I need to do is I need to open up a YouTube window. I want to make sure, guys, I'm not missing any. He says, "Thank you." He says also to Namor back to Atlantis. You know,
It won't be happening. Well, not in the movie anyway.
Yeah, and I'm hoping I'm gonna get some of our Mesoamerican experts in the chat. They said they're gonna try to make it, but again, like you, they're like, oh, I'm gonna be sleeping.
Nah.
But maybe we can get them here. Okay, we got your photos. What was I gonna say? Cardinal Sin, thank you so much. You're a great member of this channel. Thank you for your just kindness and support. And we have a project that we're going to announce. We're going to do like 3 streams, 3 different movies of Edward James Olmos. The Ballad of Gregorio Cortez, of course, Blade Runner, and Zoot Suit. So like those will be each separate talks, and I'm excited to do that, my brother. Okay, this is for you, and this will wake everyone up. Thank you, my dude. Much appreciated, man. Every cent counts. Ed Brewer, who needs TV when you got YouTube?
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed. Well,
Needlessness.
I use TV and film because I love reviewing stuff for you guys, and think later on I'm gonna be on. What's her name? Arum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the lovely Arum.
The lovely Arum. And we're going to review and talk about the new Andy Garcia film, the new comedy.
Oh.
And I don't know if you're a fan, but I'm a
like
huge
him.
fan of this. Yeah.
I like him. I don't know. I've seen a few things with him in it, but not much. You know me. You're the movie guy. You've seen every movie ever made, I think.
Yeah.
I'm immature. I'm still like a 12-year-old. I watch superhero shit and science fiction
right,
stuff.
Right. It would have been great for him to be like kind of maybe at his prime. He could have done like, some sort of a superhero or like villain, Andy Garcia.
Yes, he's a great actor.
God,
obviously, like everyone else, I probably first saw him in Untouchables.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that may have been the first time I saw him, but
yeah. I mean, we're going to get sidetracked real quick, but first thing I saw of Andy Garcia was Stand and Deliver.
Okay, yeah, a little bit earlier.
It was like the same, almost maybe a year before.
Okay, right.
That was like the time that Andy hit the scene. And well, this is a comedy called The Father of the Bride, and they're doing it as a Cuban family. And
Andy's still looking pretty young, or what?
Well, he's the dad. He's like the old dad. He looks good. Yeah. He looks good, and he's really good in this role. He's like an old curmudgeon-y, Cuban dad.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like any of the woke times, which I was like, oh, this is pretty funny.
I've heard it. I've heard he's one of those guys kind of doesn't like all that kind of woke stuff from what I've heard. No,
Andy's very Catholic conservative, and anti-socialist, anti-Castro, and he's very outspoken.
Good fellow.
And, we need all those voices to speak.
Good chap. Yeah.
It's just to me, it's like that's what you want. You want conversation. We don't want everyone agreeing with each other like we're gonna do today.
Well, we want everyone agreeing with me when it comes on, but only when it comes to Star Trek and comics and stuff. Anything else you can disagree with, but on that you got to agree with me, or just you're in big trouble.
What I haven't done is I have not shared this on Twitter yet. And we do that, guys.
Oh, crap. Okay. Go ahead. And I'll
Oh, no, I
retweet it.
did yesterday, but.
I got you. Yeah. I shared mine on Facebook for what that's worth.
Oh, nice, man. Hell yeah. It works. Live now. So I'm gonna pull up. Let's go over origins. Let's go over origins. I'm gonna pull up those images in a second. Tell us about the Submariner, Namor.
Namor the Submariner, also known as Namor McKenzie. Actually, that was sort of retconned in later. He has a very similar origin to a character that was kind of ripped off from him later, Aquaman. And if you've seen, and I only mention that because if you've seen the Aquaman film, that tells not only the origin of Aquaman, but kind of similar to Namor, who's his father was human, and his mother was an Atlantean princess. Sound familiar? It's the same. It's very. Now later, Marvel also retconned him into being a mutant hybrid son of Atlantis. Again, it's very, very similar. Again, so if you've seen that film, I'm just using that because it'll give you a point of reference to what he's kind of basically all about. Except Aquaman, was always considered more heroic. Namor, when he first, so I got a buddy of mine who's very stickler about. He says you're supposed to say Namor. That's how it's really pronounced. But everybody says Namor, and they're going to keep saying Namor. And I'm just sorry, that's the way it is. So. And he gets all over me about it. But
I mean, the images you just sent over are just incredible. We're getting the first one up here for you guys. Cool. I mean, wow.
People have rightly called him an anti-hero because he's obviously very pissed off at the surface world. That's the cover from the Bronze Age series that they started with John Buscema cover there. That's the basic look for him. He's always had just the basic swimsuit thing there, and that's it.
Yeah.
Although there was a black costume a little bit later.
Okay. But this wasn't the first time he's appeared in comics, so.
Right? Oh no.
Right.
This was 1968 or something. His first appearance was.
These
the
are
first
just your
Marvel
favorite.
Character. Yeah, I just put a few different ones there.
Yeah.
He's the first Marvel character created by Bill Everett, 1939 motion picture Funnies #1.
Wow.
And so he's been around a long time.
Wow, that's wonderful, man.
Well, he was wonderful. They tried to get movie rights for this character. Were kind of Marvel. I mean, there was no such thing as movie rights, and yet they were trying. I don't know why they didn't do a serial. A lot of superheroes had movie serials back then, but they thought they were going to be able to make movies and stuff, and that's why movie rights for the character have been tied up for a while.
Is that right?
And yes, and he's the king of Atlantis. He's not happy with the surface world. But he realized that the Yahtzee threat at that time in the comics,
right
in the 40s, was so bad that after his first few issues, is almost like a complete villain going after the surface world and battling the original Human Torch a few times. He decided to throw in with the Allies in World War II, and he joined Captain America, the original Human Torch, and other heroes, the All Winners Squad. In the 80s later, the 70s later, they changed it to the Invaders, so some people might know them better for that. And he became a reluctant ally of them and a hero. But then after the Golden Age, he kind of disappeared. And in the Fantastic Four #4, he was brought back. Human Torch is all pissed off for some reason. He kind of leaves this group for a little bit, and he ends up walking around downtown New York or something. He finds this old man who's being picked on by a bunch of people. This old man, and he helps him out, and then he realizes the man's not that old, and he helps the man shave his beard off with his flame, and realizes it's the Submariner. And the Submariner had been wandering around with his memory gone, but then he realized who he was.
Wow!
And he launches an attack on him. Now he realizes he's the kind of being a villain for a while, and throughout his history, this right here is a reprint of one of my favorite Human Torch. I remember buying this.
It's a beautiful. I love the framing of the two, right?
This cover.
It's like a battle of a circle. Like they're like swirling each other.
I was up in Denver on a vacation with my family in 1974 or whatever when I bought this comic. That's why this is ingrained in my memory where I first bought this comic book. and it's just a reprint on the inside. All the Human Torch titles are reprint there. But Subby became good. He got his own. He became basically a villain again in the Silver Age.
Well, they're calling him the Savage Submariner.
Yes, they did.
Terror of the water.
Yeah, he was not nice at first. Then he became a reluctant ally against the Yahtzee threat. And then he became, when he came back in the Silver Age, he started fighting the Fantastic Four. One of the greatest comic books of the Silver Age is when he fought Daredevil. He constantly had trouble with Iron Man. Well, he just not get along with Iron Man. He used to fight him all the time. Then he got his own title, the one you showed at first. And again, it was about.
We can go back to that.
Yeah,
no problem.
He got his own title. And the one I sent you with him and Iron Man on the cover.
This one
right there. Yeah, that was a one shot that came out before his regular series.
I mean, it's so crisp and clear on this one. This almost seems a lot newer.
Yes, that was right before the other one I showed you. And that was a one-time. That was a one-off, but that was a great Gene Colan cover. I love all the different artists. Now, Subby,
let me ask you, Clobby, about Submariner. You said something about earlier, like he doesn't like the people on the, what do you call them? Like
the
people
surface
like
world,
surface world people,
surface dwellers.
So it's got to take some cataclysmic event for him to even come up. Correct?
Yes. It's interesting. When he came back in the Silver Age, he was very kind of like a villain, noble in his own way. But of course, he was pissed off because he felt like it was the surface world was a threat to Atlantis. And then he fell in love with Sue Storm at the time. Actually,
yes.
She married Richards.
Nice.
That was a love triangle.
Yeah. How was that received? Was that done pretty well?
I hated it because
I saw that some comments people didn't like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But in fact, that went on forever. I mean, in fact, at one
Really?
point she left Reed for him.
Boom.
After they were married. And they almost got divorced. And he again, it's weird with Namor because he was noble, and yet in this series here, it was all about him. So he had exploits where he hated ATTUMA. If you look at the bottom image under him right there, that's from that when he was lost for years and lost his memory.
Oh, let me see. Wait, which one?
Right under him at the bottom there, under his leg. It was
right
that
here?
Picture. No, it was that same issue.
Oh, that's him below.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
wow. He had a beard and long hair.
And after this
Fantastic.
series ran its course.
Hey, Clobby, you're on this. Look at you're in the back there.
Oh yeah, I am in there. Oh yeah, he fought with the Thing. He fought with the Hulk. He fought with
everybody.
The Avengers. He fought them all. He was fighting them all for the long time. And then there was a series called Supervillain Team Up. It was about rotating Doctor Doom, Red Skull, Magneto, and Submariner was always involved in that. And yeah, I mean, there was always. And then kind of later, it just sort of shifted. He joined the Avengers at some point. He was
wow.
Yeah, it was just definitely not just a normal superhero and not evil, but ornery.
He ornery with us, beloved, and was he beloved by his people down below?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. There he is fighting the Inhumans Triton there. My favorite. I forgot to put a picture of it. Daredevil #7 of the Silver Age. I'll never forget. This is a defining thing for the character of Namor to me. Namor, sorry. He goes to the surface world. He's pissed off, and he decides to go through legal channels to talk about it, take his grievances. And Matt Murdock represents him, but he gets like he's very own. He gets pissed off, and he starts trashing the city again, like throwing stuff around and getting dangerous. And Daredevil shows up and tries to fight him. Well, as you could think, this is a guy that can slug it out with the Hulk and Thor and people like that, meaning Subby. So what chance does a human like Daredevil have? But there's no other superheroes around. So he fights him valiantly, and he has no chance. And this is more of a Daredevil thing than Subby, but this is give you an idea of the nobility of the Submariner. He ends up just absolutely, beating the crap. Daredevil's almost completely dead, almost dead. He's beating the crap out of him, and he could have easily just continued. And he stops and he looks at the valiant efforts of Daredevil, and he's so impressed with him. He says, "I have fought the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the Hulk, and yet none of them has shown the bravery and the courage that you have, the most vulnerable of all. Out of honor for my fallen foe, I will leave."
Wow.
And he leaves Daredevil unconscious. It's one of the greatest comics.
Really?
That's the nobility of Namor the Submariner. He was so impressed that this human who has no shot against him would not stop.
It was kind of like that. All right, so it was kind of like that moment where Thanos gave a nod to Captain America in the movie.
Yes.
In the movie,
So, you did get sort of a nod to him, yeah.
yeah,
He was impressed
like, hey,
with him.
I respect you. You know, you're giving me a hard time, even though I'll kill you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he had nose like a gnat. I mean, compared to a guy like Subby.
Yeah.
Subby can fight the Hulk.
So this is great. This is fantastic, and we have some wonderful people in the chat now. Before we go to ATTUMA, right now, guys, if you're just joining us, we're going over the origins. Then we're gonna go over the story and all the latest new news. Then we're gonna go over Mesoamerican stuff. We have a lot of fun stuff to share with you guys. So speaking of sharing, Clobby, share this link.
Yeah.
Share this link. We're getting a nice little early crowd. How about that, huh?
Indeedishness, indeed.
I can't answer everyone's questions right now, but I do want to say hello to some of our good friends. And you're all good friends for being here with us. Eric O'Sullivan is a great dude, great member of the Slant. He's got his own channel too. Good morning, good day. Soul Assassin. Baz, how you doing, Baz?
Hey.
El perro. ¿Qué pasó, el perro? Darth, another member of the channel. That's fantastic. And Matey's daddy, Steve Mitchin, AZTEC. What happened to Atlantis? We're gonna get there.
He's the one that gets on me if I say Namor. He says it's Namor.
Namor.
Yeah, Namor.
Namor. It's not glamour. Clobberin Times. It's glamour.
Right. And it's a losing battle though. Everyone's going to be saying Namor forever, buddy. I mean, just you gotta.
Yeah. Pat S, my dude. And there he is. Yeah, if he didn't get the alert, you know, YouTube is just, they're hilarious like that. They're so funny. Okay, now let's go to ATTUMA. And it is not ATTUMA.
I'm not ATTUMA.
Who is ATTUMA? And when did he make his what's his story, brother?
He first appeared in Fantastic Four 33. I know because that was part of my collection for a while there. And he so that goes way back to again 64 or something like that. Jack Kirby and Stan Lee created him as that was one of the issues where they brought Namor back. I always call him Subby. Submariner.
Let's call him Subby, man. And you know what?
Subby.
Love you, Steve Mitchin, but hey, we're gonna start saying AZTEC names in a minute. So, God bless y'all, man.
Yeah.
Go on, brother.
He was a leader of a bunch of Atlantean barbarians who were banished from Atlantis, if I remember correctly. And he led a revolt. He was pretty powerful. It was just, I don't want to call him the most standard Marvel villain. He was definitely Namor's, Subby's main antagonist. For the longest time, he was definitely, if you were to say who is his biggest, villain, it's definitely ATTUMA. And but yeah, he's plagued the FF and the Avengers and everything like that. So they picked the right antagonist for him, for sure. For Subby in this thing, there he goes, Kirby, some Kirby ATTUMA right there.
Yeah. What year was this? I mean,
64-ish.
I'm gonna. This is 64. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. This image, I'm seeing a lot of AZTEC and Mayan influence.
ATTUMA,
I'm just saying.
Atlanteans were blue back then, except for Subby.
Right. Well, I want to ask you about that later. I'm just saying. I'm talking about like their battle gear here. Really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
And this is him again in a different iteration.
A little bit later, I believe it was it was probably some more Bronze Ages, so like 70s, 80s. Yeah, and he's not a nice guy.
How successful did he ever get as far as like taking over?
He was put it this way, he's no Doctor Doom or Galactus or anything, but he did cause a lot of trouble to the Avengers a few times.
Mhm.
Later he was part of a mini series that was done later, Atlantis Attacks, where he did take over Atlantis and
Mhm.
used it to attack, and they believe he at some point dethroned Subby. He's gotten involved with Doctor Doom and some of the other villains and stuff. He is, I mean, especially for the Silver and Bronze Age, he was a pretty big Marvel villain, all considered. Not like the top tier or anything.
So I want to read something here. What is this? What year is this? Fantastic. What is this gallery picture from?
This is from Gallery Fantastic Four's Most Famous Foes, done later in one of the annuals, but
Okay.
he originally appeared in FF33 from 1964. So
Okay. So at the bottom here, Clobby,
mm-hmm.
he says, the first foe fearsome enough to unite the Fantastic Four with Prince Namor, the Submariner, against a menace who out of sheer savagery would tear down all civilizations above or beneath the waves. And pay attention to this, guys. There's going to be a test. And build himself a throne out of skulls of Homo sapiens and Homo mermanices alike.
Yes. Like I said, he was a barbarian. He was, again, one of the top baddies, and at least for Marvel in terms of the Silver and Bronze Age, for sure. Again, later, like I said, even in the 80s, he had a big multi-company crossover that he was part of called Atlantis Attacks. I believe that was it. I didn't read it. I remember it, though. And so, yeah, it's he's a major Marvel baddie, and he's definitely the guy you want to see fighting Subby.
Okay, so those are the kind of overview origins from Clobberin Times. So you've always enjoyed this character?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Again, like I say, I always, I guess, because I love superheroes, almost all of them have to have one main baddie, if not more. And so, definitely, it's him. It is ATTUMA.
It is ATTUMA. Okay, so we have all that, guys, as our backdrop, right? And I'm noticing in the chat just tons of great comments. Keep it coming. A lot of expertise, a lot of love for this character, like as far as the knowledge there, which is great. We love that. Now, there's been some news, right? And we want to start picking away at this news here. So this is from the Direct. Black Panther 2 reveals first look at Namor villain and Namor 2.
But nothing on Black Panther.
But nothing on Black Panther.
We don't know
a lot of secrets.
A casting. When is that movie coming out?
What's that?
When is it coming out, the movie?
November 11th.
Right. We don't know anything about the casting?
Well, we could get into that. We can definitely get into that, right? Like, there's just so much mystery around this production. So much that they haven't even announced Tenoch officially as Namor, and it looks like they're gonna do it at Comic-Con in San Diego.
Oh yeah, that's soon.
Right. So it goes. So let's read a little bit. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will soon introduce several new heroes to the MCU, as Dominique Thorne debuts as Riri Williams, aka Ironheart. Chad Boswick's T'Challa is replaced as the Protector of Wakanda. Okay.
By question mark. We don't
by
know.
who? Yeah. But why would they replace? Why can't they just recast? I mean, honestly.
Well, you know why? Because
I'm for that.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather just recast. I mean, is it probably going to be Shuri, his sister, like they did in the comics? Probably at some point they did that, but I remember Storm even took over for him once. But...
I mean, I'm not against those ideas, but it's like there was more Black Panther story to tell with the films.
especially since the movie didn't do him any favors. That movie, he was backseating his own movie. It was all about his girl's sister, and he was just kind of, T'Challa is one of the most brilliant people in the Marvel universe in terms of he's a scientist. He's not just a suit where he just fights people, and and he was really, there was potential. Chadwick's so great, and he was so great in Civil War when he first appeared, and this. I really was. That's why this movie, the Black Panther movie, disappointed me because I loved him as the role, and he didn't do anything. They had his sister doing all the smart stuff. He was just in a few fights in that costume, and I was sad about that. So I was hoping they would give more to the character of T'Challa. It is called Black Panther after all.
That's a good question for the people in the chat. One, if you liked Black Panther. Two, if you did not like Black Panther, the movie.
You could even do a poll.
The movie. Yeah, I just want to keep it moving with the story.
No, gotcha.
Number one, if you what to say? Number one, if you liked it. Number two, if you did not like the Black Panther film. Okay, so we're Tenoch HUERTA makes his first appearance as Namor, Submariner, the king of Atlantis. Atlantis and Wakanda have previously been to war in Marvel Comics, and that rivalry appears to be carrying over to the MCU in the Black Panther 2. Namor the Submariner, his cousin Namora, and the Atlantean warlord ATTUMA are all said to be major players in Wakanda Forever as the underwater kingdom wages war on Wakanda, with aspirations to launch a franchise of their own, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just get right to this. Since we just talked about ATTUMA, a new Black Panther promotional art piece has surfaced online via MCU facility. Look at Namor villain and Atlantean warlord ATTUMA. What are your thoughts on this look?
Well, me, I'm a stickler for looking like the comics, but we know movies don't do that, so that's just reality.
Right. This is art too. It's not a movie.
Yeah, it's just art from something. So it doesn't look too far off. Doesn't look too terrible. Like you said, it's gonna be. They're not Atlanteans, so they're Aztecs, right? So, and for
we'll get into we got. I don't know 100% the whole thing. I have my theory.
Speculating, right?
I'm speculating. What I do see is a battle gear similar to some of those images that we saw earlier, which I appreciate.
Yeah, it's not. Look, doesn't look too bad to me, really. It doesn't really. I guess if you just showed me that picture without the word ATTUMA on it and say, you know who that is, I might go, no, I don't know. Not really.
Right. Yeah. One is if you liked the movie. Two is if you did not like the movie. But no big deal. Okay, cool. So that's a fan art iteration.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I think, or MC Facility. I don't know. MC Facility doesn't seem to be an official MCU thing, Okay. ATTUMA's Wakanda Forever bears some resemblance to his Marvel Comics design with the addition of more Mayan influences and a hammerhead shark skull for a helmet. Is this is another iteration of him?
Yes. That's in other words, if that one, I don't need to see the name on it. That's old ATTUMA, just different art. And then probably more modern art, more later or recent.
Okay. All right.
But all the same basic looks to him.
Okay, we kind of went over who is ATTUMA. I don't think we need to kind of go over that. And then everything that we had been talking about is here. Let's get to this part here. And then we're going to go to some of the images of Namor himself. And I hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you are, if you can, please share the link. And I know a lot of people have on Twitter. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm here with Clobberin Times. Make sure you throw your link into your channel in there as well, please. Okay, Wakanda Forever continues to further the influence of Mayan and Aztec civilization on its style, with clear tribal influences on ATTUMA's design. The MCU's Atlantean culture appears to stem closely from the Mayan Aztecs, with crew gifts. Or when we did that video, was it last month or something? highlighting the Tepec Yoyot, an Aztec god. That's the jaguar god. So you get the jaguar Aztecs, you have the panther with Wakanda. Black Panther sequel previously cast 2 indigenous actors for known roles, codename Zanyanya and Cadmiel. The first is described as a fierce female warrior, with reports indicating the character to be Namora, played by Mabel Cadena. The second is to be a tall, strong, powerful, and loyal male. This likely refers to Attuma. Well, how can he be a loyal male if he's Attuma? Who's he loyal to?
To his tribe, I guess.
His tribe, but not to Submariner.
No, not at all.
Okay, let me go back to this. This is 2 indigenous actors. Okay, that's just Hollywood fancy talk for 2 Mexican actors, right? That's who they are. That's who Mabel Cadena is. You know, they're from. This is, you know, I don't know who Attuma is going to be, but you know, Hollywood loves to, you know, fetishize, you know, the exotic thing, and indigenous actors. You know, every Mexican has indigenous blood, and we're going to get into that. Mabel Cadena, I've seen her work. She's got a great look. I've just seen her in a drama. I don't know how, you know, I know she was, you know, filming in Atlanta, Georgia on this. Currently, there's no indication of who will be bringing Attuma to life or whether he will prove to be a one-off villain. Wakanda Forever certainly stands as the only certain appearance of Namor, but a solo project is likely on the horizon if fans respond to the character and Huerta's performance as well. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, November 11th in the theater. Your thoughts, Clobby?
I wonder how much he'll actually be in the film. I mean, in other words, will it be like 5 seconds? I mean, will they just show him for a minute? Will he pop up for a minute or two, or does he figure into the story? Reason why it's possible he may figure into the story a little bit, he and Attuma, is if you remember in Avengers Endgame, one of the Dora Milaje ladies, I'm sorry, I blank on the name of the character. She was reporting to Black Widow, Natasha, that they were experiencing some rumblings from under the ground, if you will, in Wakanda.
Right, like underwater earthquakes.
Right, and they were investigating that. Now, that probably was portents for what's going to be going on in this film. I'm just that speculation, and if so, it will have to do with, well, not Atlantis now, but whatever they're calling it. Could have to do with that. He has had, but there have been instances where in later comics, not ones that I really read a whole lot, that Atlantis had dealings with Wakanda. Problems with them. I don't know if they were at war at some point, but they've had issues with each other. Although I think T'Challa and Namor were later friends, but so my speculation is it will have something to do with that. Now won't be. I'm not saying Subby will be causing it, but it'll have something to do with Attuma and Subby fighting or something along those lines. Again, are they a major part of the story? Who knows?
Well, I would agree with you in that maybe a little more, but I would also agree that for them to do all this heavy lifting without the Submariner not having his own film in the future, I think those are the plans. They're going to see if it carries over, because this is a lot of heavy lifting. And when I say that, right, I'm talking about when you're from the ground up, they are I don't even want to use this word. I'm not going to use that word. They're repurposing this character, right? This is not Namor of what we discussed, of what you discussed. It is, maybe it can be as far as essence, but as far as Atlantis, and all that stuff, they've changed it. Scott Wilson, who is he a buddy of yours? First time here in the chat.
I don't know, Scott Watson. Hey there.
Happy to have you here. In world building, they will probably do as they did with Wakanda. by drawing inspiration from various African cultures, civilizations, but having some grounding in terms of language. Put a mark on that, Scott. Aztec and Mayans do not share the same language, but as far as origin, right? Mayan and then Nahuatl. However, they have it's kind of archaeological facts is that the Mayans did live in Teotihuacan. They did exist in modern day, like the lands of modern day Mexico. So that is very much part of this heavy lifting that I've seen and talked to with other Mesoamerican experts. So I would not be surprised if we did not hear English, Spanish, and Nahuatl being spoke in this movie, which we can get to later on, which I think is cool as shit if they could pull it off. That's if.
That's probably for the bigger movie, his standalone movie. Yeah.
Right. Maybe here it's just like, we'll figure that out. But
yeah.
Or maybe with each other, like if he's battling ATTUMA, they're speaking their native language together. That'd be dope. Let me ask you this. Let's get to this image. Because we've seen the ATTUMA. Let's get to
Subby.
Don't forget the Olmecs. Different time. The Olmecs were gone by then, brother. However, wait on that. Wait on all the Olmec, Toltec, Zapotec, there's so many tribes out there. There's a lot of kingdoms I want to talk to you guys about, because I want to talk about history, and then I want to talk about what they could be doing. Okay, but let's get to this image that everyone is really chirping on. In my chat, I asked you guys. I put some images up. Now, let me make sure I get it. Can this work? This new iteration of Namor, because we know it's not Namor that we have been talking about for the last hour or so. And thank you for joining me, Clobby. Appreciate you, man.
Sure, man. Glad to be here as always, bro.
Here it is.
Wow.
Headdress. Can it work? Namor. Some Atlantis enthusiasts believe the ancient Aztec homeland, Aztlan, Atlantis. Some believe Aztecs originally occupied ancient Cuba and the Bahamas and have trade war with the Greeks. Per Plato's account, Plato said Atlantis was a large island west of Gibraltar. Okay, so there's that, and then there's this look here. What are your thoughts on this look, Clobby? Don't hold back.
No. I mean, again, me in the MCU right now, but I would say, I guess for the movie, since they're definitely changing it. I mean, if you're going to change it to Aztec, then it should look something like that stuff. And I don't know anything about the things that you're talking about with that stuff like that. So, I don't know about obviously that headdress, he wouldn't wear it in the movie much. Just like Thor never wears his helmet.
Well, I just don't see how he also can't. I mean, he's going to put that on while he's
no
submarining.
No, yeah, he will. Remember, even Thor Hemsworth never wears his damn helmet other than like the first 2 seconds of the first Thor movie, and Thor in the comics is always wearing the helmet. So he wouldn't wear. He might wear this for like 5 seconds. So you could take that, pretty much take that off. In fact, that all might be something that looks sort of ceremonial. I think that would probably.
That's what I was definitely. Yeah, definitely ceremonial.
Because there was another picture. Hey, look, he's got the wings on his. On his legs,
right here. They're coming out of his ankles.
All right. Well, that's pretty good.
What the
hell?
I want to read some comments from these guys, but
that's like a ceremonial, like a cake.
And this is the Jaguar god we were talking about, and this harkens back to the Jaguar Knights. This is how the Jaguar Knights would wear their headdresses. They were the highest of the warriors of the Mexica warriors next to the king. So, you know, they're going for it with these influences. Kyle Gogo says it could, but academics believe Atlantis actually existed as this island city wiped out by a volcanic eruption. Plus, the Greeks never sailed that far out. The I can never say it like this. Phoenicians, the Phoenix people did though. Phoenicians, yeah. But Phoenicians? I also don't have faith in Marvel to come up with something this thoughtful. Period.
No, that's boy, I could go along with that.
That is huge. Yeah. Bonzo Kilborn said work for DC with Aquaman being Samoan, and me and you have talked about that.
Yes, we know why though. That's not why. It was because it was Jason Momoa, and then the girls wanted to go look at him.
Yeah,
that's why they made the $1 billion. And if this guy looks anything like him, they might do that for this too.
Right.
I don't know what he really looks like. I mean, if he has that appeal.
And Eric, these are also, you know, gods, you know, within the lore and religion of Mayan and Aztec culture. And when we say Aztec, you know, it's like it's a cheap word for the Nahuatl people, because the Aztecs, they never came up with that word. They never knew what that. The Spanish came up with that word because they were called Mexica, right? That's the tribe, and from that, I don't know how they got Aztec, but they never refer to themselves. The Triple Alliance were 3 kingdoms in Mexico City. That whole area, that alliance came together and they share the same language, and that's how their kingdom became so popular. Aztec is a catchphrase, probably represents the many cultures of Mexica. So the thing too with the Nahuatl language is it's spoken by almost 2 million people still today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shared root language of a lot of North American tribes as well. Now, let's get... Thank you, man. I know some stuff.
You do, boy. I swear.
I know some stuff.
That's way too mature for me. I just only know about his funny books.
Right. Oh my God, you're funny, man. Now let's get to the image, the other image that we put online here, and this is the other image, and here you can really see this is Tenoch's face and body, the actor. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Major Z is I'll get to you. Say me your thoughts. Major Z, who is a Mesoamerican expert, follow their page. I'd asked them, you know, what they thought, and they said the earrings, nose, and lip chain piercings are the few elements of the design I like, and look authentic to actual Mesoamerican examples. The earrings, in particular, are very, very specific to Maya. The rest of the outfit, they're not a fan of. So,
you know,
I got to make sure. Yeah, we're still here.
Does he have pointed ears, by the way, like he's supposed to?
I don't know if I see pointy ears, but
like Spock, no Spock there.
Right.
No Spock ears like Namor has.
I don't know if I see it, brother. Maybe a little bit, but I wanted to go over. So they're talking about the ear. These are kind of like
ear thingies.
Ear ceremonial, very tribal, and then a
nose thing.
Right. So there's been some comments already saying, you know, they're kind of seeing it through a modern lens as being effeminate, and you guys are off. You guys are off base.
Is that what they're saying? Who said that?
Yeah. And this is warrior culture. Like this is how these Aztec warriors and a lot of these warrior societies have been warriors since they were babies, and this is just part of it. Okay, so Eric sees it. So what are your thoughts, Clobby? Go ahead.
His hair is not really subby, but that's not a big deal. I don't want to sound like I'm that much of a stickler. It's not too bad. I don't know if he needs all the. Again, this is something not just this character, because he looks pretty close. He's got the the trunks, what have you, and he's just mostly bare skin. Other than that, but you got those. I don't know what you want to call them, bracelet, not really gauntlets, bracelet thingies, and then those armband things. Subby. I mean, again, that's just for kind of show, I guess. Or I don't know if there's some kind of cultural significance to it. But one of the things they're doing with all superheroes now, not just him or anyone else, or comic book heroes or comic book whatevers, is their overwrought costuming. They're always they can't just leave anything relatively simplistic. And I'm talking not just him, Iron Man, Batman, Superman. Yeah. Superman, you name it, Spider-Man. They get all these rigid costumes. They have all these armory look, and they always have to make them overcomplicated. They don't do the simple sort of like almost painted on look that they used to. And look at those covers I was showing you. It's pretty simple stuff. He's got the Speedo thingy, and that's it. Whereas even Batman of that time was simple. He had a costume, but it wasn't like bulging with like ridges and armors and all this other kind of stuff. So this is just one of those things. I guess they figured they can't just leave a guy to look relatively, simple. They have to add things to it. They can't help themselves. And like the belt looks kind of cool. I don't know if same, So aside from that, I guess it looks like given that, it looks pretty much like I would expect a modern day Namor, subby to look in a movie.
Majora Z is here in the chat, and we really appreciate you being here.
Hey,
Mesoamerican expert, and so I got my Mesoamerican expert. I have my comic book expert in Clobberin Times, and that's. Let me ask you a question, Majora Z. You said you loved the ears and the nose. Stuff. Yeah, and you weren't a fan of the rest, but that's more MCU. And just like Clobberin says, it's a little too much. Maybe
they're trying to give him a costume.
Just the trunks and maybe just the belt would be cool. Are you seeing, Majora Z, any other influences here besides mine and AZTEC?
And I would just add, they're trying to give him an identifiable, marketable superhero look, if you will.
Right. And again, we don't know if this is official. Like this is right. This is a pretty good fan art of whatever they're doing. All right.
But see, Aquaman has the costume, right? Namor has in terms of selling him to the public, there's almost no costume. There's a suit, except for the black costume we had for a while in the 70s, which doesn't count. They're not using that. So that's what I'm saying. They're trying to give, when you got the stuff, not just the AZTEC stuff, with the look that he's talking about, but the stuff below, they're trying to give him something of, he's not Iron Man, he's not Captain America, he doesn't have a standout type of a look. That's what they're trying to do with all the additional accoutrements, if you will.
Lady Ombre says, I don't think effeminate, but aspects of a luchador, which is a Mexican wrestler. Yeah, interesting.
Oh yeah, the days with the terrible X-Men days with the vest.
But those, oh yeah. But those are so okay, I lost my thought for a second. So so these are the images that we got. This is the news that we got. Also, too, the rumor in the storyline is that there will be a flashback where Namor is fighting conquistadors.
What? He's not supposed to be that old.
Oh, okay. How old is Namor supposed to be?
Namor was, his father and his mother met when, like, in the early 19-teens or something like that. Of course, that doesn't matter. They're not going to care about that anyway, I'm sure. The problem, but that's the whole point, was his father was on a ship, and the mother and father met. He was part of a crew of a ship that was like some kind of a survey vessel or whatnot. 1915 was when his mother and father met or something like that. But again, that won't really. They don't care about any of that kind of stuff. I'm just being the comic book geek there. They're not going to follow all that stuff. So there you go. He's going to be. It's going to be like, I don't know, hundreds of years old now or something.
At very least, when the Aztecs fought the conquistadors,
Right.
that was.
Well, he'd make quick work of anybody with those superpowers.
In the early 1500s, like 1519, 1521, 1521. But there's a lot there, right? I mean, there's so much going on with what they're trying to do. And when I say they, I mean RYAN Coogler, this director, the writer, and MCU. And I'm terribly afraid that they're gonna butcher something, and it's gonna be completely lazy. Majora Z is chiming in. I think it's hard to say because so much of the design, the facial ornaments aside, is so generic pop culture meso stereotype. You see it in most media that it is not really that close to anything from reality, or whatever stuff they were looking at ends up being mixed together past recognition. That's great. Well, that's MCU. Perfect.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to, and that's what I'm thinking, and that's my biggest fear is that they're gonna excuse my language, guys. They're gonna fuck this up. We got our comic book homies here. We got Clobberin Times. We have Majora Z, and I really appreciate Majora Z being here. Give Majora a hello, and the great Mexican Iron Man's here.
Hey.
I think Namor should share his story where he goes from being a taco farmer in the Pyramid Plains and starts the first chain of Mesoamerican restaurants. Namora Bell.
Namora Bell. That
nice.
works for me.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh boy,
that's hilarious. Something. That's hilarious. Funny, Namor's name backwards is Roman.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
So this is good stuff. Now I want to, we've talked about the origins, the original origins of Submariner, of ATTUMA comic books, right? You gave us a great backdrop. We talked about the story, we talked about the ATTUMA iteration, and now the Namor iteration, that they're blending Mayan and Aztec cultures into one, and we're getting everyone's feedback, like, hey, it looks all right, but for the most part, I'm thinking people are saying, yeah, it looks cool, but it's Disney, Paul. It's MCU, yeah. Clobby.
Right.
We're gonna get to the bad will of that in a second. What I would like to do is I want to talk about I'm thinking theory here. You talk about Star Wars theory, now you're gonna get the Paulie theory.
Paulie theory time.
Boom. Boom. Clobby, this is so what Majora Z was saying. This is so problematic that me as a Chicano kid who grew up not knowing my culture, my history, I tunneled back, went to school just for this stuff. That I'm like, okay, if you're gonna represent this, please don't fuck it up. And I already see that happening. Yeah. Okay, so they're gonna retell the story of Atlantis, and they're gonna connect it to, let's just say they're connecting it to Aslan. Aslan is a fabled, not really archaeological, fact-based homeland of the Nahuatl people. What we do know is that the Nahuatl people, Mexica, Aztec, came from the north. And over hundreds of years, they migrated down what we now know as Mexico City, that area. And no one in that no one in those areas, all those kings, they didn't want it. They hired them to they were barbarians. They hired them to fight and win shit for them, but they didn't want them to live near them. So there was these marshes out there, out in the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically started filling those marshes with land, and they created this we're talking over a couple hundred years, the great city of Tenochtitlan, which is what Cortez conquered and destroyed. The rise of the Mexica tribe was very quick comparatively. So there's that, guys. Oh, this is good. I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, what we also know is that the Aztecs really loved some of the other gods and some of the other influences of other tribes, especially the ones that were kind of gone at that time, the Toltecs. And the Toltecs have erected these huge stone Atlantean statues in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Those are there. I think I've shown them to you before.
Mm-hmm.
So it could work if Coogler wrote that in there, right? That would be fascinating. I would be in shock if they got it right. Okay, so that's when, and that's what Majora. That's what Majora says to Black Panther, and Tepecuotl is a jaguar, but I think they could have gone with Tlaloc. They're even renaming Atlantis to Tlatloc's realm. Really? Digging to the facts that Tlaloc and other Meso rain gods derived from Olmecs were jaguar gods. That's where Tlatloc's fangs come from. Man, this is fascinating.
Mm.
Okay, so this is fascinating. So we got all that, right? That's there. That's there. I would be so there's like you said, they're making them older. They're gonna change that shit up. Whether that's one argument is that that's not Namor. The Puritans say that's not Namor. That's someone else. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? That's one argument. And we're gonna get to the bad will later on. I'm gonna get to it. Now, when I said I would be in shock. Ryan Coogler is from California. It's African American gentleman, very talented director. Did Creed. He did
both Creeds, right? Was it both?
Yeah, Fruitvale Station.
I've heard Fruitvale Station. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's true to life story. Yeah. So what I'm wondering is if they gave him full reign, and if he was connected to Chicanos and Mexicans growing up in California, like maybe he wanted to go there, and if by going there, is he going to make a statement about African American and Latino relations? Because if you're going there, you're pitting very very Mexican looking people fighting black people.
I would not put it past him.
That's where I'm going. And so what is Coogler ultimately, what is Coogler saying with this iteration? Because now it's going beyond just by placing is it gonna go full on Wokoso with Namor and the Mexicans, lack of a better word, and the Wakandans, black people, coming together to fight the white man?
Well, he did it with Black Panther, so it wouldn't. I would say probably, yeah. I mean, yeah, I absolutely think you're spot on. Is what we're looking at with that. Yeah.
Right.
It would fit his MO.
Okay, so if that's the MO, so then that's what you can expect. And if that's the MO, I've got major problems with that.
Me too.
You know, because I just do. And then you're gonna, you're using Namor. I mean, we could be totally. I hope I'm totally wrong, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, now this whole mixing of AZTEC and Olmec and all that stuff. Because to you, it's like, like you said, the success of the conquistadores and Cortez winning, they won, guys, as far as that destruction of Tenochtitlan and all that stuff. They conquered, then they enslaved. Okay. The reason for their quick success, they had, correct me if I'm wrong, Majora, several different Aztec, maybe other languages, several different kingdoms that were under the Mexica, like they had to pay homage to them because the Mexicas had battled them, and they went. Cortez at that time had what, over 1,000, maybe more, warriors from all these tribes. So he was able to go in there, not just with the conquistadores, but with other native indigenous tribes. So it can't just be this Namor battling the Aztecs, Namor battling the Spaniards. The Mexica people had to fight and they lost. And they lost. Besides that, yeah, that's important too. But I think what's more important is that they had firearms because they had in a weird way, Cortez got a fresh supply of men and artillery because those people initially came to take Cortez away. He was able to defeat that leader of the Spanish. See, the Spanish people, the Spanish, no one approved of Cortez. No one sanctioned him to do what he did. They tried to go stop him. There was, I'll get into that. That's a different conversation. My point is, they're going to rewrite. They're going to rewrite history. And hey, Tarantino did it. He's done it a couple times. It's fun. We'll see what's going on here, guys. We'll see what's going on. I got a big problem with that. I understand. I hear you. I like the idea of Aslan and Atlantis being this kind of like mysterious, fabled thing, because Aslan has always been that for us. But keep it at that. And keep it as that, maybe, 95% of the Mexica people, the indigenous people, they got wiped out from war and disease within within the first 100 years there after occupation. But there's that 5% that wouldn't go, okay, that 5% went away and became this. Okay, now I know I've talked a lot, guys, and I'm going to get to some of your comments, and I know we have a super chat. Here's what I'm saying now. Coogler, did you think of all this stuff? Coogler, did you hire a Mesoamerican expert writer to write with you. Coogler, do you have a right to do that? And when I say a right, Coogler, the world that you're in is so attached to identity, and only a gay actor can play a gay character. Only a black person can write about MLK or I don't know what. By your rules, Coogler in Hollywood, by your rules, I better see a Latino writer on your writing staff. By your rules. Because you're dipping into it, right? Now, Clobby, I'm of the other vein, right? I love that Mel Gibson did Apocalypto.
Right. It doesn't matter to you. But
no, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
it shouldn't matter.
It's the human condition. It's not. Yeah, exactly.
Well, but, it shouldn't matter. They're artists. Go and fucking create. I don't care what color you are, But Hollywood has laid down these rules that everyone's got to do this and that.
That's right. You're right.
So
that's their rule.
That's where I've gone to, guys. I'm gonna dial it back. Clobby, what are your thoughts?
Well, I hear you. Again, you know a lot more about that stuff than I do. I do expect the Wokoso thing you're talking about, though. So I don't have. I think it's going to be. He's going to find. He made Black Panther very activist, so he will do it again with this one, and it probably, along your speculations, just from coming at it from strictly from a comic book geek standpoint and a movie geek standpoint. One thing I will say to them about this character is that even though he predates Aquaman, the fact is DC has already made a multi-billion-dollar earning Aquaman movie with a very similar origin because his origin's sort of ripped off from Submariner. So they're probably, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for them, they're probably trying to think of how do we differentiate this from Aquaman, so people, because normies and Joe Average are going to go, this is just a rip off of Aquaman. You can hear it right now. Correct. Because he's just like Aquaman. They don't know who came first. They don't know anything. They just know that, and if he has the appeal of a Jason Momoa, as I call him, Momo, whatever his name, Momoa.
It's so funny.
Momoa. Women are, I'm sorry, we're the ones who objectify. Hey, they objectified that guy to the tune of $1 billion. Women, it was an sort of all right movie, but there are a lot of movies that were just sort of all right to make that kind of money. So he's very popular. And if this guy has that appeal, the movie will do well, but it's going to get good or not, activist or not, one of the things that's going to get slammed from the get-go is it's just like Aquaman.
Well, I got two things with that, right? And I do want to play a clip of the actor. Two things about that actor, right? Tenoch looks nothing like Momoa.
No, I don't think he looked like him, but he's probably
no. I know. I'm with you. And Tenoch is a real actor.
Yeah. As opposed to
this
Momo,
man.
Yeah.
This man is presence personified. Now we have a couple super chats. We're here with Clobberin Times. It's been a fantastic time. Thank you, Clobby.
Oh man, always glad to be here, bro.
Mexican Iron Man for $9.99. Member of the channel, executive producer, my homie. Namor will fight the patriarchy by rebelling against the white man by replacing 4 flour tortillas with corn tortillas.
It's always about tacos with you.
It is. What is with us people in the ancient corn rebellion? I agree with Paulie. Let's tell an accurate story. Well, back then, I believe Majora can back me up on this. We ate cornfish tacos.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah, tacos feed the world, man.
I love them.
Dude, thank you so much, Mexican Iron Man. Muchísimas gracias. Let's get you some short love. Boom. Yeah.
His favorite character is the Flash, so you should get a Flash thing for him.
Don't bring up the Flash. Do not bring up the Flash right now. Do not bring up the Cardinal Sin for another super chat, $4.99. Super interesting conversation this morning. Keep that slant going. Cheers, Clobby. Keep it fuerte, whatever your slant is. I always say that. Keep it strong, guys.
Cardi.
My slant is strong. My slant is strong. You know, people come at me with cultural diversity. Oh, you're this, that. I don't care what your take is. This is my take. I respect your take, and that's it. You know, this channel is set up to celebrate achievements. That's what this channel is about. Now, if those achievements ultimately become, you know, tokenized garbage, I'll talk about it. You best believe. You best believe. Come on.
Indeed.
Okay. Any other super chats? I think we're good. Any membership mentions? Okay. No, I want to go to Majora. Now we're talking food. Tortillas with other ingredients for like 70% of any Mesoamerican meal. Yes. Also, the precursors to tamales. Tamales. Majora Z.
I want a breakfast burrito now.
every time. Thank you. Now you had Majora had some great comments earlier, and Punk Waddle, Read by Nature, Eric Osal. I mean, so many great BT Diaz. I just want to say hello to all you guys. I want to make sure that you're getting some love. Fantastic. Soul Assassin still here. Okay, this is great.
Hey. Big crowd on a Sunday morning. Forgot.
Major Z, who's our the slants official now. You're official. Mesoamerican expert. Tlaxcala and Wax Toxinco. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Which were Nahuatl, like the Mexica, but not in the empire. Okay. So they all spoke the same language. They all had a lot of similar cultural traits, but they all warred against each other. But they didn't like each other. In fact, they were, you know, they really hated the Mexicas, man. That's why this was so successful. Inside the empire, Texcoco, Xochimilco, Cipalaplan, Tlaco, Mixquec, etc., were working with Cortez. Wow. Are they Coogler? Are you gonna have that in there?
Nah.
Huh? That, you know, that the Mexicas, the Aztecs weren't really good people, and at the time of the conquest, they were probably at the worst mental state, because most of the time they were high on mushrooms trying to foresee the future, and they could only do that by they upped their ante in human sacrificing. Someone brought this up earlier. It became, help me out here, Majora. This human sacrificing was connected to a warrior's achievement. They created weapons not to kill, but to subdue and keep that prisoner alive. Then you went and sacrificed them, and that was like the highest level that you could achieve, and it was for the god Tezcatlipoca. Get me on that. Okay, you know what? No, bust my chops. Not to bust your chops, but the actual reason for most of allying with Cortez doesn't have to do much with, okay, resenting the Mexicas. Tlaxcala said Tlaxcala really hated them. Too complex and explain in chat. Okay, well, that is okay. So off of what you said, it wasn't a happy time. It wasn't. So it wasn't the brown man versus the white Spanish man. Can we agree on that? That it's a lot messier and complicated than what they're going to show. Wow. Okay, this is great. Great. Dark times in our history are arguably the most fascinating stories to tell. Okay, so we got two more things to cover. This bad will that MCU has created with their fans, and then I want to connect you guys to the actor Tenoch HUERTA. If you've never heard of him, I want to show you a little bit because I think it's important. Because this is an incredible actor. Talk to me, Clobby, about the bad will that the MCU's created with fans like you, please.
Well, I can only really speak for myself, obviously. I think they started it with, well, you're not going to blame it on one person. I blame Kevin Feige, but the whole Brie Larson thing, when she came out, when he pushed that character down everyone's throat, I don't care how much they say that movie made. I'm skeptical about that as well. They took a character that they were doing very well. They were putting characters out there that people really liked, and they took a character for the first time in the MCU now, later what it is now, because he decided. Look, he came out and said he's basically like the Force is female type thing. He kept calling. He said, "We're going to make, we're going to start making this more about the ladies." Now we all love the ladies, and they could have made any lady superhero film they wanted, and if it was good, we horrible toxic males would have definitely went to see it. He chose not to do that. He held off on a Black Widow movie, even though everyone was saying, "Fine, make one if it's good." And he kept saying, "No, I want to see that," which was false. And then he makes Captain Marvel, a character that never sold in the comics. No one cared about. Carol Danvers was okay when she was Miss Marvel. When they made her Captain Marvel in the comics, her comic never, and I mean never. They tried 4 or 5 times and they couldn't sell it. And he's going to make this movie. And he did it. He released it at the most optimum time for him, even though the actress was not particularly well liked. He released it and said, "If you don't like it, suck it, geek. We're going to make it anyway." And he put it out at a time with right around the end game, where of course it was going to make money because he tied it in to shove it down everyone's throat, to shove this movie and this character down everyone's throat. This is where, in my opinion, where the bad will starts.
Okay.
He said, "If you don't like it, too bad. You're all just a bunch of, you all hate women and all this kind of crap." Brie didn't help by the way she conducted herself. And then it started from there where he's start coming out talking about, "Hey, the Avengers, we're going to start killing all of them off and making a new group down the road. Eventually they'll be mostly women." And look what he did to the Russo brothers. I don't think had complete control over Endgame. They started making Thor a joke. They killed They didn't kill Captain America, but they made him quit. Same thing. They kill Iron Man. They're killing off their most famous characters. At the same time, he has not made any secret of this agenda to make everything about. And that's why we call it the MCU. It's what he can ruffle his feathers all he wants about that. He's made it that. He's admitted that. And that's what he's doing going forward. He even stuck that scene in the Avengers Endgame with all the women in that cringy scene there.
That's the women's walk, right?
Right. In my opinion, that's where it starts. Everything has got to be about getting rid of very popular characters like Cap and Thor and Iron Man. Well, Thor's still there, but he's Cap and Iron Man. And then
it's a different Thor. It's a different Doctor Strange.
Different Doctor Strange. And
I love that character that Benedict has come up with, but there's so much other stuff thrown in.
Right, exactly. So is Kevin Feige with his female agenda for the thing, rather than just making compelling superhero movies about men and women together or even on their own, he's decided that and again, that's the Hollywood, maybe he's paying his Hollywood dues because he made so much money that he's got to pay back to them. I don't know what it is. The bad will starts with him deciding that the Marvel universe going forward would be transformed into a sermon about women and making it a totally female-centric universe. And he made 5 really terrible TV shows. So far, all of them have been horrible. I've not seen the latest one, Miss Marvel, because it's not a character that interests me. Again, she's another character that nobody cared about that he decided to make a TV show about. Even if I know people are liking the show, I have nothing against it. I'm just not interested in the character. He makes terrible. but he's allowing some really dumb things to be done with these characters. And yes, he puts the Wokoso, as you say, agenda in everything from about Captain Marvel on up. All of it has it. And that's where, in my opinion, the bad will has been started and it's been festering. He did something horrible like Eternals. Who wanted Eternals? Who needed that movie? Why? And he even put agenda stuff in Black Panther. That's Ryan Coogler did. And I didn't like that either. So, yeah, it's about, I don't know, it starts somewhere around Captain Marvel. And, again, that's my take on the bad will. I don't know what you think.
Okay, so, look, I'm with you, right? And we can agree, disagree on movies, television shows till the sun, the sun is up. What this bad will has done is it's made it harder for all of us to, to be open to a new iteration, right? Of like a Miss Marvel or Namor, because you guys are sick of it. Fuck it. I don't want nothing to do with you guys. I get it. I totally get it. That's that bad will created. That's what this does. Is that doesn't matter how inventive this is. Let's say Coogler knocks it out of the park. Let's say Coogler has hired someone like a Majora where they're getting this right. That they're hey, we're gonna show Navarez real quick. He was the good Spaniard trying to stop Cortez. In a sense, he was affiliated with the government of Cuba. I think he was the governor of Cuba for a minute. Let's say they get all that stuff right, where it's actually like, wow, do you guys really care at this point?
There's another problem. I don't think we will care as much now.
Do you guys really care at this point?
I can't say
the fan thing is just like, hell no. Let me know, guys. Let us know in the chat. We know Clobberin Times, and it won't matter. The actor's not at fault. MCU hates its fans.
True. Okay? I have to agree with that. I mean, I say true. I say, in my opinion, I that's the vibe I get.
Pat S. No, not really.
I mean, look at Moon Knight, how bad that was. Like
I stopped watching Moon Knight.
Oh God, I
liked those comics back in the day.
Yeah, I did too. Well, you should put Moon Knight in the show if you're going to call it Moon Knight. And Oscar's terrific, but just seeing him run around with a silly accent for a couple of
Academy Award nominated actor.
Yeah, they waste him, and he's so good. You want to like him, you want to like the show, but seeing him running around with a silly accent for a couple, 5 episodes, whatever, man. It's just, why don't you put Moon Knight on the show? It's called Moon Knight. Yeah.
Punkwaddle, at this point, no. Being told you're not even a fan because you don't fall into a camp, you don't agree with their prescribed camp, has nothing to do with the product anymore. So why even bother?
Good point.
Great point.
Absolutely.
Wex Wuto says, it depends on the execution. I don't care much, but I'm willing to change my mind. All right. He's still open.
You can laugh at me, but I am going to go, for the last time probably, I'm going to go sit through Thor 11 Blunder. I'm going to review it this week next Saturday. My buddies, because J-Man's talked me into it, but
Right. And our own Mexican Iron Man chimes in. He's done. He's been done. He says, I don't care about anything Marvel. Uber burnt out by this crap. Eternal sucked. Doctor Strange lame. And Shang-Chi sucked. The only good thing is the rabbit chicken.
Oh my, rabbit chicken.
And there's some people saying like, it's not that it was a bad movie, it wasn't Shang-Chi, and you said that earlier.
Nothing like the cause. He wasn't the master of kung fu.
BTD says, I've seen 3 episodes of the Miss Marvel. I'm liking it so far.
Some people have said that, which is, again, that's something I'm not even, no axe to grind. First of all, what is kind of funny is that they had to take that character that no one really cared much about and change her powers for the TV show because she's so ridiculous and stupid in the comic book. They gave her Quasar's powers. They actually gave her the powers of a different character for the TV show because they probably thought it would have cost CGI to make her stupid hands big and stuff. And that should tell you something right there. But people are liking that show. More power to them. But to me, it's just like a kiddie show. I'm not so much a kid. I'm just saying it's not about a character that I don't care.
It's not for you. It's not for you.
And I watched every one of those dumb shows they had. It's
terrible.
That's how
TV
smart
shows.
I am.
I think there was 2 What If episodes I liked, and maybe it's not that I didn't like Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Boy, I hated
whatever it's
that
called.
one.
I liked some of the ideas they were trying to talk about, but it was poorly executed.
That was the one I hated the most, probably.
I know.
What If I didn't even finish? That's the only one I didn't finish because I got so mad like about 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
I was gone, and that's weird for me.
So there's been a leak from the end of Love and Thunder about a certain character being introduced. Tell us right now.
Yeah, tell us if it's just a leak. You can't
Tell
hear
us
anything.
if it's just a leak. Now, we have so many varying opinions here, and the last thing I want to discuss before we wrap up. It's been a sensational conversation, guys, and subscribe to everyone. Majora Z is on Twitter, and thank you, Fan Thing, for coming in. I think it's important when people who absolutely don't agree on a lot of issues get together in whether it's in the chat or on a panel and have some good talks, man. That's my favorite thing. You know that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Discourse.
I'm trying to find. Give me a second. Majora Z, I'm trying to find your your link, which it shouldn't. Why is it so hard? And thank you, everyone. I'm seeing all the retweets and everything. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going to put Majora Z's Twitter in here.
Indeed.
And Red Tigress, who's a member of the channel, and never see Red Tigress in a live stream. I don't know if you're a he or she, so I don't want to, I don't. And I have to.
Tigress.
Right. Tigress. Oh, she. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, the background's blue, not red.
Yeah. There's Majora Z's Twitter. Red Tigress, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member of the channel. And you want to be open to this actor. And this is the final part of yes. Disculpa. Just give me some characteristics of Namor. Is he an alpha male?
Oh God, yeah. He is that. And he's arrogant. He is like I said, he's noble. He's arrogant. He's abrasive. He's regal. He is because he's a king, and he doesn't. In other words, Aquaman in that movie, he's a dude bro because that's Moa. But in comics, he's fairly easygoing when he's hanging around with the superheroes, and later he becomes obnoxious in some comics. But they kind of later comics started making just a clone of Namor. But Namor himself. Yes, all those things. Regal, obnoxious. He's a jerk. I mean, he's a jerk. He really is. Abrasive, doesn't care, doesn't suffer fools. Does care about people. There's a nobility. I'll give you an interesting tidbit about him. There was a great What If issue that was done called "What If the Invisible Girl Had Died," dealing if she died with childbirth back when she gave birth to Franklin back in the Silver Age, and it dealt with the grief of the whole Marvel universe at her passing because she was so important. Everybody was in mourning. Well, Annihilus had been kind of the cause of her death inadvertently. Well, Reed Richards starts going obsessive after the funeral, and Reed's his rival. Reed is, they fought for Sue's affections, and then Namor lost. And in this context of this What If, Reed decides to go back to the negative zone, which is very dangerous, to kill a nihilist, and he's become obsessed with it. And Submariner steps in and intervenes because he thought it was what Sue would have wanted, to save Reed from himself. And he ends up teaming up with Johnny and Ben to save him. So there's a nobility there, that there is a heroism to him. And I'm just using that as an example of, he's not evil, but there have been times when he's willing to fight at the drop of a hat, and he's angry a lot of the time as well. If any of that helps.
Okay, so most of what everyone is saying in the chat is what he does. I'm not asking what he does. I'm asking about his characteristics.
Yeah.
What makes him Namor? And
Nobility.
you're saying he's noble.
I think so.
He's loyal. You're saying he's an alpha. Regal, menacing.
Yeah.
You said abrasive also.
Abrasive. He's a jerk, and he's basically like Dr. Doom, but he's not bad. He and Doom clash. They teamed up originally when he was really angry in the Silver Age when he first reappeared. He teamed up with Dr. Doom right after he first reappeared in the Silver Age, and so and he's teamed up with him before.
Okay, so we're all clear on a lot of these characteristics, right?
Yes.
And we would like to see that in a cinematic execution of this character. Like this actor. This actor has to have some of those qualities that you just said, correct?
I would want him to be that way. In other words, he should be. He's nobody's pushover.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to bring up a scene from Narcos Mexico that Tenoch HUERTA was in for, I believe, this first season with Diego Luna. He's gonna walk into this very hoity-toity Mexican banquet where he really does not belong. But this guy, his character is so filthy rich by now. He basically created a brand of weed, and has just been like, taking over the marijuana game. So with those elements, guys, do you see it in Tenoch? Do you see it? All right, well, let's make ourselves small. And yes, he is gonna be the guy in the Scarface suit. And it's on purpose. Here we go. Oh wait, can you hear it? I want to make sure you can hear it too.
Oh, that's him right there walking up.
No. You'll see him. You'll see him. Tenoch is a very dark gentleman. Okay. You'll see him.
Siéntate, cabrón.
There it is. It's got the scowl. It's got the energy. He's coming in because he is outclassed. He's literally in a different class system in Mexico, being more an indigenous guy. Like he's going after the lighter skinned upper class girl because he met her in a club. So I'm gonna go back a little bit and start giving me your opinions, guys. Go for it.
My opinion is I love her.
¿Bailas? No la mires a ella, te estoy hablando yo. Disculpe, hermano, te la gané. ¿Vamos?
right, what are your thoughts, guys? Because we
Interesting.
talked about all those characteristics of Namor. Do you see it? Is it possible that this man can pull off that role, this you know, this role that's near and dear to your hearts? Can this actor do it?
You've seen a lot more than I have, but yeah, probably. I mean, if they write, you know, it'll be how they write him as well. That's going to be the key. But you said he's very versatile, or I mean, he's really good at what he does, so he can adapt to anything. It'll be. This is going to hinge on the script, but I don't know much about him. But yeah, I can do it.
Sound off in the chat. This is. I mean, listen.
Yeah,
Let's just keep the joy right now. Let's stay in our joy. Let's stay in our joy. Our joy is Tenoch is an incredible talent, and I've seen him in many films, and he can act in English, and he's done that. He's acted in English. Fan thing, great actor.
There you go. Yeah, again,
very dynamic.
See nothing wrong with the casting because
Fan thing's a big fan. Okay.
I'm sure he's way better than Simu, who I thought was horrible.
Well, he had no presence, right?
Yeah. To be fair, that they were trying to cast. He was supposed to be Bruce Lee, and you know they didn't even try that.
Oh no, please, Red Tigress. Yep, he could do it. Okay, we'll be checking this out. Eric O'Sullivan. I think he could pull it off playing Namor. Sure. So we're staying. Just for a minute. Just for a minute. He bulked up. This is a few years ago. He bulked up. I'm talking about exactly gravitas. Tiene cojones. He's got the balls.
Yep.
And from what you guys are telling me, that's Namor. They cannot emasculate Tenoch. They cannot emasculate Namor. If they do, it is catastrophic.
Yes.
Uh-oh. You just saw an image design of the character called Namorita for the film. And boy, I have nothing positive to say about her. Okay, we're gonna get to that then.
Namorita's gonna be in it.
That's the female actress I told you about. Okay, well, I guess we're going out of our joy.
What's up?
Do you guys want me to hunt this down? That's Tenoch HUERTA. That's a positive among a lot of negative. He seems to carry himself well. Namorita is his cousin that they're casting. So, oh boy. Let me see. Did you send me something? Oh, fuck.
Oh no. Don't tell me.
All right, guys. Looks like this is Namor's cousin.
Yeah.
This is breaking. So this is the third character from the new Atlanteans, this AZTEC. She's Namor's cousin.
Oh man. I like Namorita.
Oh.
Is that bad, huh?
Well, you guys ready?
What in the holy hell? She's not supposed to be blue. She's half human. And she looks like, I mean, yeah, they did make her blue in later comics, but I'm talking about the original. Originally, she was, well, I don't know, most of the time she was not blue, but like that.
Major Z, what?
Oh my god!
What are we seeing? Is there anything? The headdress, these feathers. I mean, this is a mess.
Oh, Jesus.
This is awful. This is awful.
That's terrible. I mean, I know that all the headdress stuff is not something that will be used much in the movie with her. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe it will be. She looks like their version of the Dora Milaje.
Andy Masterson.
Hey, Andy.
BT.
My goodness, what?
Soul.
I was like Namorita. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Punk.
She was
Yeah, that's what I thought. Very, very, very Smurf. The real actor is not a quasi sex symbol. Well, Mabel Cadena is a dramatic actress. I've only seen her in one role. Fine actor, but we're obviously not talking about this. Ugh. Oh yeah, the only way to talk about this is to say it's generic, primitive, tribal. Nothing actually Mesoamerican in the slightest. Ryan Coogler. Oh, what the fuck, man? Oh God. This is what happens. This is what happens when you when you tokenize. Excuse me. I really hope more and more people like myself and Major Z speak up against it. The sad reality is most commercial media handles Mesoamerican like this. Yeah, as a fucking joke. Cavitain, is this the character you're saying is going to drop in Thor? Woo! Boy, we just ended Black Panther on Broadway.
What the hell? She's gonna be in Thor?
Yeah. Well, what we have
what she looks like, I'll show you. I'll just share it on the screen if you want.
Yep.
Or what she's supposed to look like.
Yep, please.
Okay, so then.
What we do have in the chat is a great mix of old school real fans, Latinos, Mesoamerican experts. This is a great talk. Okay, here we go. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I always liked her. She was, in part of the early, she started in the Silver Age, or like the early into the Bronze Age, and then later she was in New Warriors. And, she's been around a bit. Looks pretty good, huh?
Well, listen.
She got blue later for some reason, I think, but I know because she was I think she was Namora's daughter or whatever. But Namora was Namor's cousin, and this was her daughter, I believe. If I remember right. But anyway, as you can see, she's again. I guess it was them, trying to have a Supergirl type to his Superman, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Now, I actually think. Okay, so we know we're not getting these iterations of Submariner because they're going with Mexican actors, like that whole thing. Okay, not even the same character.
Not at all.
It looks like it looks like Brazilian Carnival cosplay. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Bootleg from the theater, but what character is it? Is it this character, Cavitano?
Looks like a legit.
Can you send me a link or something, bro? Now here's the thing: here's the actress, Mabel Cadena. This is a beautiful woman. She's played different types of roles. Look at this woman's face.
Oh my, that's Namorita?
Yeah, and they turned her into an idiot.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
I mean, right? Wow. If you're gonna cast Tenoch, this would be her cousin. That makes sense,
right?
But again, this goes with the MO. Ay Dios.
Yeah, she's a, oh my.
Yeah, and she's been in a boxing movie. She's got skills.
Was it Creed?
She's played everything.
Well, that's just.
Oh, that's a shame, man.
Why cover her up like that?
Okay, I've been slipped. Someone has slipped into my Twitter DMs.
What's that?
I have a few more minutes, and then I do got to get going. But let's. This has been incredible. Everyone's sending me photos. What the hell am I looking at?
That's crazy. Oh my goodness! What's wrong with these people? They got to fiddle with everything.
Whoa. Okay, all right. You guys ready to have the stream be taken down?
Uh-oh. What?
No, we're gonna play this.
Okay.
Ay, Dios. Throw me some super chat money if this shit gets taken down. This is a great show today, guys.
Wow.
If you guys didn't catch this from the beginning, I suggest you do. We went over Submariner, comic book, ATTUMA, origins. We went over the story. We went over Mesoamerican history, why it works, why it doesn't work. MCU Bad Will, Tenoch the actor, incredible show. Yes, but mirror flip the image. Well, the image is pretty. This is straight out of a. So I don't want Cavatano to get in trouble.
No.
Whoa! What is that? Okay, here we go. So I take that this is the Russell Crowe.
Oh God, he's so ridiculous.
Character. Was it
Is
Zeus?
he Zeus? He's Zeus. Oh man, this movie's gonna be a joke.
There has been a cast announcement in some news sites too. Cavatano coming in.
I'm checking my Twitter thing now. He told me to check my Twitter.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, he sent it. Thank you, Cavatino.
Thank you.
I begged you for mercy without ever knowing if you were actually listening. Now, they look to the sky. They don't ask us for lightning. They don't ask us for rain.
So if they,
oh my goodness.
Sky, they don't ask for lightning. They don't ask for rain.
They just want to see one of their so-called superheroes.
They just want to see up close superheroes.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Zeus. Jesus Christ.
When did we become the joke?
When did we become the joke?
Wow. Hey, Courtney. What's up, love? Oh my God, man. Zeus is pathetic.
They will fear us again.
They will fear us again.
When Odinson falls from the sky.
When what falls from the sky?
I'm not sure.
When Thor falls from the sky. Thor falls from the sky.
Oh, Thor falls from the sky.
Do you understand, Hercules?
Oh, Hercules. Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah, they're gonna make Hercules look like a
Do
joke.
you understand me, my son? Yes, father.
Yeah, it sort of looks like Hercules. The Marvel version of Hercules is kind of on the skinny side, I guess, but compared to Hercules. But no, he's pretty big. I mean, yeah. I don't know. So I'm a big fan of the Marvel Hercules. What is he? Does he have a hammer or something? No. He doesn't need a weapon. Like, he don't need weapons. He's Hercules.
He's got two weapons.
That's probably is that the post-credit scene?
Yeah, one of the post-credit scenes.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, Hercules is a bit more broad than that, big than that, but,
Yeah.
Hey, doesn't matter really. I mean, because I love the Marvel iteration of Hercules. He's a really great character. I say Marvel iteration because it's different from,
Well, to be fair, Darth,
other
Thor,
versions.
you have Thor. And I hear Thor is actually the hero of his own movie, so that's good.
I mean, wow, he gets to be in his own movie? Wow.
He gets to be the hero in his own
Unlike
movie.
Moon Knight, who didn't get to be in his own show.
Unlike the show that I stopped watching.
Yes.
What's up, girl?
Hey, look at Courtney.
Russell the Hut. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, he looks silly.
Hercules
I don't know about that
uses
dude.
mace.
I don't know what that dude is Hercules either. His face.
Hercules golden mace.
He has the headband thingy that he does in the Marvel Universe now that he wears.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Well, what a great stream. Thank you everyone for all the super chats. This has been a great talk. That's the news right there. Thank you, Cavitano, for that news. We had two breaking news right at the last minute here. Let me take this off. That your sneak peek look at Hercules, and also this horrible image of Namorita.
That's
Namor's
true,
cousin.
Andy. True, Andy Masterson's here. Hey, but that's true.
Yeah, Andy stops in every now and then.
He does use the mace.
Not happy with this image at all,
No.
especially after seeing what a beautiful woman.
Oh yeah.
Mabel Cadena is. When we go to that, it's like,
Wow. That cannot be her in that, is it? Could she be in that? Or is that just art?
you know,
I don't know.
who knows at this point? We're gonna, we will get answers very shortly.
I guess you're right. Comic-Con, they'll probably
Bring out the
reveal who's
actors.
playing Black Panther, I guess, maybe. And he, your boy here, he might be there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you got coming up? Let's wrap it up. What do you got coming up, brother?
Well, of course, tonight, Mark D with the C's channel. We always get together for Sunday Night Geekery. Where 10 p.m. Eastern, where we just kind of just geek out and talk about nothing in particular and chill out on his stream. He's a real good dude, Mark D with the C. Tomorrow night, Mark, it'll be Mark C Comics Talk on Clobberin Times. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but you can guarantee it'll be about comic books. And start Wednesday night and Thursday night. Wednesday night Wild Card and Thursday night Clobby's Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark. And again, I had a fantastic time on Saturday Night Star Trek last night. We finished up. We finally did all of Star Trek The Next Generation. That was the last of it. Next 2 weeks we'll be doing on Saturday Night Star Trek. We'll be reviewing the TNG movies and then on to Deep Space Nine, from which everyone seems pleased. So, and thanks for having me on, buddy. I think you're muted.
I was. Thank you, Clobby. I will probably be back later today on I believe Arum's channel. We're going to review the Andy Garcia comedy. Tomorrow morning I might be I'm trying to do I think I want to do a 4th of July retrospective on the movie The Right Stuff.
Oh God, I love that movie, Jim.
Yeah, I love it too. I do.
I saw, dude, at the theater, man. They got an intermission. It was so long.
I might be doing that tomorrow morning. And then during the week, more new videos, more fun stuff. Please double check that you are subscribed. And we had an incredible crowd here with us. And we got one more fantastic super chat. Cardinal Sand, $1.99. Who's stronger, Clobby, Odin, or Zeus?
I don't know, man. It's tough. I guess I'll go with Zeus. He should be stronger, but I don't know. Maybe it's a toss-up. Maybe Zeus, but it's tough to say. I don't want to choose. But by the way, I should note that I forgot about that. Thank you, Pat S. And I'll be on Cardinal's show Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central, to talk about, I think, comics and stuff like that. And I think we'll be joined by, and whatever else he wants to talk about.
Well, this is for you, Cardinal, and everyone else, super chats, members, and all that good stuff. Everyone's favorite uncle. And Tom from Midnight's Edge comes in. Namor goes Gaymore. Este way. Este way.
Hey, Tom. You're awake.
What's up, Tom?
What are you doing awake at this time?
El grito. Been fantastic, everybody. Yeah, I'm off as well. Have a great day. I'll let you know about tomorrow morning. I'll let you know where I'm at on Twitter. And
Happy 4th of July, everybody. Sorry, go ahead.
Happy 4th of July. Yes, absolutely. Don't forget, guys, we all are Americans. You know, we're all here together. We're all very lucky to be here. And, you know, celebrate.
Yes, sir.
If you are a member of the channel, you will see your name This is, I do have to update this. Forgive me. Here's the closing credits. Take care, Clobby.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
I love huevitos con aguacate. Right, Tom? You're wrong, monkey. He's a big actor in a lot of markets. But we shall see. Happy 4th to all the Americanos. Rale. Happy 4th. Happy birthday, America. Woo-hoo. Be well, everyone. You caught me.